for the New Testament? You can't bring something new and better in the world if you only know a good life. Jesus did not have that kind of life. He was hated without a cause. He was persecuted and then crucified, but yet he remains in the memory of billions. And I, as a Muslim, he will always be in my life, because I know that in order to be a real Christian, you got to walk after him. Look at his words. If any man would be my disciple, you have to deny yourself, but you got to pick up your cross and then walk after Jesus. Look at Earl. Look at DMX. He didn't have an easy life, no. He had a successful life because he found out his purpose, and before life was over, he found the door. He's like a lion in a cage. Like many of our black brothers and sisters, all inside we're pent up with the thoughts of greatness, the thoughts of God. I know my young, beautiful brother said, that's my dog, I know, but of the world you would say dog, because the dog, they say, is a man's best friend. But not with a Christian. God always will be your best friend. And your Father is how you get in touch with him and keep him with you. Now, what did Jesus do? They call it communion. He broke the bread. He didn't give it all to one person. He didn't hold it all to himself. Your Father has 13 children. Each of you has a piece of him. That's your part. But your gift, God has given you, that belongs wholly to you. But if you have communion with your Father like you have communion with Jesus, as Jesus said to his disciples, and lo, I will be with you till the end of the world. So, my dear beloved family, don't grieve to the point where you can't see your way. Sorrow, yes, but the scripture says joy is coming in the morning, and you can believe it. And so I close with these words. If you look at a cross has a horizontal bar, a cross has a vertical bar. This cross is the duality in the nature of the human being. We come into the world on a horizontal level, but we're not to stay that way. Abraham, the Quran says, was God's friend, not because they say he was Jewish or Muslim or this. No, he was God's friend because he lived an upright life. And that's the struggle of every Christian, every Muslim, the struggle to be upright, to live a righteous life, though your nature is you got to rise above that level of the beasts of the field. Your Father spoke so beautifully about the low life. Our people are locked in that duality. We're very little in uprightness, but we're living our life on a horizontal level. And that's why Jesus told us that the dead will rise. It doesn't mean that the dead necessarily in the cemetery will rise, because all of us are operating on a dead level, dead mentally, dead morally, dead spiritually, dead politically, dead educationally, but the power to rise is all in us. So never ever think of Father as dog. Turn it around. Think of your dad as God. And when he rapped, God was rapping. When he spoke, God was speaking. When he told about his hard times in life, he was struggling within himself. Jesus had that struggle. But at Easter, we used to sing a song in the church. The strife is o'er, the battle done. The victory of life is won. All glory to that risen Son. Hallelujah. So all of you that are listening, the struggle continues, but you will win as he won. He's free. He found the door to the cage. Jesus said, I am the door. And when he found the door, he came out of hell and began to move toward a heavenly life. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for allowing me this great privilege to speak about my brother. I love him much. I thank God for his life. His life has touched my life. His life has touched your life. But now you got to break free like a lion. The scripture said there's a lion asleep in Judah. Who will wake him? You are that lion. You're asleep, but it's time for you to awaken. Where's the kingdom of God? Where is it? Jesus said, the kingdom is within you. So come on up. Come on out and let Earl Simmons DMX know he'll never die, because he will always be here affecting those in the rap community and musicians and entertainers and those who want to live a good life. So I close with these words. Thank you, my dear sister Tashira, for the comfort that you gave him and the children that you gave him. Thank you. Thank you for the women in his life. Your role was important because you consoled him, a man that was always in pain, but you gave him comfort. You gave him solace. Thank you so much. And thank you to the beautiful children that he leaves behind. May God bless you. May he grant you his protection. May he guide you. May he help you to discover the gift that he gave particularly to each one of you. And like Daddy found his gift and it exploded on the world, find yours and make your mark in life and give God the praise and thank him that he allowed Earl DMX Simmons to be your dad. I'm glad that I got a chance to know him and meet him from the divine side. He was a prophet. God don't just use prophets who have a good, wholesome life. No, no. He had a life and he educated and taught the people that are still in the worst part of that life. Lift them up. Come on, brothers and sisters who rap. Leave his example as your guiding light. And rap with conscious lyrics that cause people to rise from the grave of ignorance. I love you all. And may God shower his blessings on each and every one of you. Thank you, Reverend Bernard. Thank you for all that you have done to lift this wonderful brother. May God bless you, bless your church, bless those who see the value of the man that God loaned to us and now has taken him back to himself. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Peace unto all of you. Assalamu alaikum.
My, what a beautiful man, what a beautiful message. And who in their right mind could find a problem with that message? Well, the old hateful brigade, the old charge of anti Semitism followed that, wherein one of our brothers on Twitter is at the Shark Damon. One of our brothers who is on Shark Tank tweeted a very beautiful message about the impact of the minister's words, and he was attacked. And he subsequently took the post down. I want to read what our student minister, Dimitri Muhammad, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the research teams put up, the NOI research group put up following that, because I appreciate that, and it's a sentiment of many. This is Brother Demetric, which is at Brother Demetric on Twitter. Dear brother at the Shark Damon, you are not wrong for admiring the beautiful words of at Louis Farrakhan. Read this and share it with those who came for you over your tweet. This is me talking, and they came for the brother too. So much so that, like many, unfortunately, he took down his tweet, which was nothing wrong with it. Here's Brother Dimitri. The minister touched our hearts yesterday. We don't have to apologize for that. And I invite you to read our beloved minister, cleared of the false charge of, quote, anti Semitism, unquote. You can read this at researchminister.com. Researchminister.com. I'll put a link in the Facebook thread. Also, thank you to those of you who are commenting on the show and are tuning in via Facebook. We will now go to the Justice Report. I want you to stay tuned. We're going to come right in through the Final Call newspaper with the Justice Report. After the Justice Report, we're going to have a quick break for some announcements, and we may be tapping into the International Human Rights Commission press conference that either will still be going on or we're going to go from the beginning. Stay tuned. Hi. Hey. Hi, Assalamualaikum. I see you. I see you. I'm dialoguing with Sister Beatrice. Thank you for responding. She had a remark about the minister's address, but let's get into the Justice Report. Coming out of the Final Call newspaper, there's our Brother DMX, the cover story honoring DMX. And of course, we heard the words. I love these black on black, if you will, cover stories that the Final Call is just killing it. Um, in a great way. But this rapper DMX remembered, honored, in a touching homegoing. That's a story that our editor in chief, Brother Naba, penned for us. I'm just going to run through some headlines real quick. Bitter tears, broken hearts, and the strength to fight. This is written by our brother J.A. Salam. We just had the funeral of Brother Dante Wright, who was shot and killed as we were getting the verdict in the George Floyd case. The former cop, Derek Chauvin, convicted. Also, they tricked us into feeling safe. This is a comment that was given to our contributing writer, Barrington Salmon. He wrote this. This is an article on the Derek Chauvin conviction, and I really want to read this title again. They tricked us into feeling safe. Chauvin conviction doesn't heal all wounds nor guarantee sanctity of black life in the United States. There's been at least 3 killings that we can name off the bat. Um, One, Micaiah. Okay, we just talked about Dante Wright. Here's a little 15-year-old Micaiah in Bryant in Columbus, Ohio. Then we have, my God, these killings are, as some say, exploding, or they're just coming to light. They've never stopped, right? We have the case in North Carolina where the family is saying the brother's hand was on the wheel. The son is saying they saw an execution. They were given 20 seconds of videotape. So these are some of the highlights in the Final Call newspaper. Look, free Mumia before he dies is the cry from protesters. And not only that, did you know? You got to go to finalcall.com, finalcalldigital.com. Did you know that there are children who died in the MOVE bombing where on U.S. soil the government bombed, literally, the police in Philadelphia bombed citizens, our black brothers and sisters? Well, I'm going to read this to you. Philadelphia. Just when you thought injustices against the MOVE organization couldn't get any more bizarre, the case has gone from strange to downright ghoulish. Okay? Think about this. Recent revelations show 2 Ivy League schools have been using the bones of 2 of the MOVE children killed in the infamous 1985 Philadelphia bombing for an online forensic anthropology teaching video, unbeknownst to relatives or the MOVE family. And now the remains are missing. The disturbing situation came to light in a story published online in the Billy Penn newsletter. we're, we're dealing with the COVID-19 experimental vaccine, and people are getting pushed back and bullied and coerced and persuaded and tricked into taking this experimental vaccine, which is being shown to cause severe blood clots, which have caused deaths more. Most of the people that the blood clots have been reported in so far are women 18 to 48. But the point I'm making is some of the pushback by those, the federal government, Operation Warp Speed, you, whoever, that are really trying to get our people to take this experimental shot without it being vetted properly, is that that was long ago. Tuskegee, the experiment, the U.S. syphilis study at Tuskegee is, oh, that's a thing of the past. I heard a black, very intelligent, prominent Christian woman say that during a town hall meeting online. That was then. This is now. Slavery is over. That was then. This is now. Get over it. We're kumbaya. That's the pushback. We have to get over it. Dr. Anthony Fauci says, well, how do we get you to take this? Don't deny yourselves the right to this. And black and indigenous and others are saying, we don't trust you. We don't have a history to trust you. Those are the minister's words. We are not justified in trusting you with the treachery against our people. And this is an example. So even as you go to Marshawn Lynch, and I got to tell you, brother Marshawn Lynch, good job. Oh, as a matter of fact, I got to go. Let me go to that story and I'll continue. We're still on MOVE. These are children that were killed. And you have their remains. And you're pimping their remains. This is part of the modern day issue of why people say we do not trust you. So let me go to Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch, this is part of the parade and the outreach and millions and billions of money coming down to our organizations and our communities to help with what they call vaccine hesitancy, to root out and to weed out and to uncover so that people can be persuaded to take this shot. So part of it is One, parading our people in front, celebrities, rappers, others, saying we got the shot, we feel fine. You should get it too. Questioning people. Now you see people can't go to certain places. UC and California State, Cal State schools are mandating the vaccine. You're going to have a lot of disenrollment. You're going to miss a lot of money, because some people are just not taking that. We're not taking that. But I want to go to Marshawn Lynch as we talk about move, because Dr. Anthony Fauci, pardon me, went to Marshawn Lynch. That was one of the interviews recently that I saw, and it's on my coverage for the COVID report for the final call this week. And, because of the former NFL greats, prowess and his celebrity and his success on the field, the gridiron, as they say. Dr. Fauci said, "Well, we thought we can come and have a conversation, and you can show people why this is a good thing, right?" Well, Marshawn put some very good questions there, and he made it real. Not made it real, but he kept it real. He was himself, and I enjoyed the point of the interview where he would not back away from pointing out why our people, black people, indigenous people, have a problem. One, he said it's education and information. One, he said the information is not coming down right. It's coming over our people's heads. They're not understanding it. One. Number two, the trust factor. And so here, let me get to the Marshawn part. The FCN report is dealing with vaccine push faltering in the United States. So one of the things that we wrote about in this article is that despite all of these various tactics being used to persuade our people and our indigenous people, which are our people, the United States despite what is being reported on the news, the United States is still seeing a significant reluctance and refusal to take the experimental COVID-19 vaccines. Look, they are talking about giving you money, okay? Listen to Farrakhan. Listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You may go to the vaccine adverse incidents. There are adverse side effects. You may go to the VAERS site and see for yourself what people are reporting. So despite all of this, the rollout is great. President Biden is supposed to be making an announcement tomorrow during the State of the Union, all this other stuff, and this 100 days. The vaccine is stalling. Let me tell you what we found out for the final call. A new analysis by Morning Consult. This is a global data analysis company, right? Black America and coronavirus. These are our COVID reports for the final call. This poll found out that among adults who are unsure about getting vaccinated, 36% said they are concerned about potential side effects. Wouldn't you be? I would be. I am. But I'm not concerned to the point that I don't know what to do because my leader, teacher, guide, my spiritual father said, don't do it. I'm not doing it. Look, 29% said they are worried that the vaccines moved too quickly through clinical trials. Remember, it takes between 5, 10, 15 years to test them. They're being tested now on you. Mothers, this is the poll. Mothers, adults under 45 years old who earn less than $50,000 annually, and Republicans and black adults without college degrees are some of the groups most likely to say they're unsure or unwilling to get vaccinated. This is according to Morning Consult. It goes on and on and on, but President Biden again announced a tax credit for employers who provide paid time off for workers to get vaccinated. Can you get paid time off to go and deal with your dialysis? I'm asking sincerely, can you get paid time off generally? Or does the president offer that paid time off to go and deal with diabetes? You have kidney problems, sickle cell in our community. You get paid time off. Are you getting these incentives? Do you see millions and billions coming down to black colleges to help deal with the underlying health conditions? Do you see millions and billions coming down to just put one grocery store? I remember when I was working with Front Page, shout out Sister Dominique DePrima, KJLH, Brother Stevie, and Front Page. When I was producing Front Page, I remember Dominique talked often and people called in often about why can't we get a Trader Joe's in the black community? Why can't we get a Whole Foods in the black community? And of course, the debate would be build your own grocery store. And we have different things happening, but at the end of the day, Not even thousands were sent down to do that. We're in food deserts. And nutrition is a heavy part of this. You got money to deal with your asthma? When my daughter went to school as a young tot, and I went to put her inhaler in a drawer and open the drawer, and there were tons and tons and tons. I'm like, oh my God. There were dozens of albuterol and all these different inhalers. So I said all that to say Marshawn Lynch. I'm going to read the portion about him. So Dr. Fauci, as I said, solicited the help of former NFL running back Marshawn Lynch to encourage people to get vaccinated. Mr. Lynch, in a candid dialogue which premiered, this is April 16th. You can go to Brother Marshawn's YouTube channel. It's Marshawn Lynch Beast Mode Productions. And Marshawn expressed concerns about accommodating, number one, religious exemptions when it comes to the so-called vaccine passports. He talked about, will people be denied the opportunity to have a normal life, or are they going to be restricted? This is what he asked. In their homes, if they refuse the COVID vaccines. Dr. Fauci didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He did a political move. Go and see it for yourself. He leaned to wanting to, the narrative is keeping other people safe. Marshawn Lynch said his goal was to help educate people. This is a quote from Brother Marshawn Lynch. Anytime we've been told that we was going to be in a position to have something gave to us or put in our community to help us, it seemed to turn out very bad for us. He said, and then it gets to the point where it's almost like a gamble, where if I go and take this vaccination, there's a chance that I can come out of this situation more blanked up. Now, before he said that, he leaned in and he said to Dr. Fauci, you don't mind if I be myself, do you? And Fauci was like, what are you going to tell Marshawn Lynch? Yeah, I do mind. The brother was himself, so he dropped the bomb there. And then he said, okay, let me go. So there's a chance that I can come out of this situation more, he said effed up, right? But he said the word. Then I went into it rather than by taking my chances and rolling the dice by not getting it and going through the illness, the sickness, and coming out. This is what Brother Marshawn Lynch said. The article goes on. We talk about how Krispy Kreme is giving donuts out, although diabetes is an underlying health condition of the heightened coronavirus severity, right? Movie popcorn people are getting, steak dinners, again, days off work, cash rewards, joints for jabs. We've said that before here. People are giving free cannabis, free weed. And again, that's a respiratory. And by the way, you're buzz driving and you're drunk driving. Cut it out. You're killing people on the freeway. And I would like for you to stop it, please. Because they've made this legal, but they're still throwing you in jail. Because you're buzzed and you're swerving. So please, be careful. Children and families on the road who don't, want that. If you enjoy it, okay. But moderation. And I'm not advocating. I'm just saying, just stop drunk driving and buzz driving. That's it for that. Kroger grocery store is giving $100 to $200 worth of store credit. But there's a doctor who said that the freebies and the cash bonuses can actually backfire, because when you offer that to people, then they'll say, why you got to offer me that? All of that to say, Marshawn Lynch was one of the points that I thought about in reading the Move article and why we don't trust you and we cannot trust you. We see you're still killing our people down. If you want to do something with your money, deal with all of these different things, this police violence, put your money where your mouth is. And at the end of the day, projectseparation.com is the route out of this. Projectseparation.com. But we don't want to listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The man has just been speaking so much truth, and all of his words are there. Video, article. There's no filter. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell you what Farrakhan said or how you should think about what Farrakhan said. I mean, God is with this man. If you can't see that, I don't know what lens you're looking through, because those who are against him are going down for the count, and he's still standing and looking good. And we love you, Minister Farrakhan. So with that, I'm supposed to do some announcements, huh? Minister Farrakhan has a song that he wrote. And it's beautiful. It's called Heed the Call. We'll play that. I'll give a few announcements, and then I think we'll come back, as I promised, and tap into this release of the report on systemic racist police violence in the United States. Okay, so this is Heed the Call, the beautiful violin playing by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Yes, a master violinist. I want to say that there are 2 new books by student minister Dr. Ava Muhammad. And thank you, Sister Donna, for making us aware and also for continuing to publish these books for Minister Ava. They're ebooks. I'm going to pull the, there they go right here. Thank you, Sister Felicia. Deportation of the Moon, the Legend. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. And you can get these at ministerava.com. Deportation of the Moon. Hold on. I'm off my game. Deportation of the Moon, the Legend. Oh, Deportation of the Moon and the Legend of the Lost Continent of Atlantis. The other book is The Science of Light, Color, and the Mother Plane. ministerava.com. Thank you, Sister Donna. I don't want to speak over this part of the minister's song. Let's listen. Heed the call.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our country, our God, and our religion. Tell me why. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten through the preacher. And he has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Heaven and hell are just 2 conditions of life, and they're both right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards our research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe on the level of the beast, eating the bark of trees and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following many of his explorers, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China, he took silk and gunpowder. From India, he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. And from the Mideast he took barrels of oil untold, deceiving, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell, a white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Before we came to America, we were living in the East by the Nile.
Wow, I forgot. I'm in show. I'm just enjoying myself. Thank you, Minister Farrakhan, for that song. Heed the Call. You can also view it in its hear it. It's 15 minutes long. It's extended on YouTube. Heed the Call. Thank you, Brother Ahmad 007 for posting that. Let's see if the International Commission on Inquiry is going on, and let's tap in. They're giving their findings on this racist police violence here in
It
America.
isn't just about taking on the Americans. It's also been about taking on our own government to ask questions. What are you going to do? This is a citizen of this country who's, currently residing in Hawaii, killed by the police, and the circumstances are questionable on different levels. The local media has been carrying interviews with his widow. They have 2 young children. And so we do live in a global village. And it's not just a report on its own is given life by the voices, by the agency, by the visibility. And I think this report will do that. As someone who served in the UN Special Procedures Mechanisms, the other value that I see is that our reports never die. Even 7, 8 years down the line, I will get an email telling me about some recommendation that I made to the US government on the investigation that I had carried out and the report that was produced. So the reports have a life of their own and a value that we should never underestimate, whether it's by human rights defenders, whether it's by activists on the ground, whether it's governments, UN agencies, people within human rights, people within the UN system. And this is where I see this is a starting point. The report will take on a life of its own. And I am pleased that I've been part of this process. So thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Rashida, thank you so much for being here. I know that you had a lot of things going on right now. And I want to mention that Rashida is the former UN Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women. Okay, so we have been going for quite a while with lots of excellent comments. Are there any other questions from the press or comments from anyone else?
Kerry, can I make a last comment?
Sure, please.
No, thank you very much. And I think the questions and the responses have been quite useful. And I like the ground that was covered by Peter. But Lennox will recall the importance of the fact that America takes itself quite serious, and it takes its image quite serious, but it also takes its business quite serious. I think this gives us an opportunity to take this report beyond ourselves as jurists, but also to take it into the business platforms to make sure that it is being endorsed at that level. Because in South Africa, when we were raising all of these human rights issues, it was when we said nobody must buy South African oranges that South Africa began to take the struggle and the solidarity quite serious. I think it's critical that the report is not confined to lawyers. We need to take this report to be endorsed by business, and they must also be a voice that adds to the calls that we are making. It's a report that we must also take to the Friends of America and in their engagement to make sure that they raise these issues
And it must, as it has already been said, that it be taken to all the multilateral forums, including the organized legal profession around the world, so that they can adopt it. And I think this is a type of a report that should not be allowed to be filed anywhere. It must continue to be a living report. It must be continue to be a tool that we are using as a pressure to achieve this form of justice that we're talking about. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Max. Thank you. I like what you said, that it should be a living report that continues to be utilized. I concur. All right. I think that at this point, I'm going to close the press conference. It was excellent. Thank you to all of the press that attended. Thank you to the commissioners, our rapporteur, Lennox, and all who participated. And it's not over. The work continues. We're going to be mobilizing it, mobilizing the rollout of this report, as Lennox mentioned. And so there's still work to be done over the next few months. So I believe that the press, you have our contacts, and so you can follow up with us if you need to do any interviews or have any other questions. Thank you all, and have a good day.
Thank you. So let me tell you what you were viewing. And it started at 9. I put the link in the Facebook thread so you can go back and look at this very important press conference. It's the International Commission of Legal Experts. They released a report on the racist police violence in the U.S., finds U.S. guilty of crimes against humanity and other violations of international law. The persons that we heard from during that press conference were a distinguished panel of international legal experts. They were from 11 countries. 11 countries. They served as commissioners with extensive backgrounds in the fields of social justice and human rights. Our own sister attorney Nana Jumpy here, human rights lawyers, executive director of BAJI, Black Alliance for Just Immigration, was heavily involved in this. Colette Flanagan of Mothers Against Police Brutality, Gwen Carr, mother of Eric Garner, they were part of those who spoke, as well as Brother George Floyd's brother. His name is escaping me. You think I remember it after we've been writing it and talking about it, but his brother who testified was also here. It was not too much that he could say. Of course, they're still in a pending situation. Members of the steering committee that organized the commission of inquiry, including Lennox Hines and Kerry McLean. So you can go back to their YouTube page or their Facebook page where it was live streamed, and it's very, very important. And usually, as I was speaking to Attorney Nana, she gave her thoughts to me about why it's not genocide. Of course, we do charge genocide, but it didn't quite fit. She said, and they spoke about that. I'm more than sure there. But this violation of human rights cannot be denied. So thank you so much for making us aware of that, Nana. And as we prepare to make way, I want you to know I put the criterion, the minister's July 4th address, in the thread as well, so that you can see. Look, it's been more than a year of this pandemic. There's a lot of thoughts and ideas about is it, isn't it? But at the end of the day, we have a Nation of Islam uh, group of experts looking at this. We've had our platform there for Savior's Day for you to view, for people who are wondering, why is the minister saying don't take the vaccine? What is it? Everybody is saying it's safe and we should do it. I'm getting on the bandwagon. Many people really believe that. You believe that. But we're asking you to look at what the nation has put there as well for information, and to think and question, why would alternative or opposing views, real concerns, be shut out, blocked out, hidden, and then powers that be say, make your own decision? Well, based on what? The only thing that you're given to base your decision on is the narrative that's there. So I put that in the thread so you can go to the origin of do not take their vaccine, okay? Because lest I and Liberated Sisters be charged with one sidedness, but it is. It's not an objective thing here. Very, very real. That is the mandate, that is the instruction, and that is the message that I'll continue to put out by Allah's grace. So thank you so much to the Waxahachie Study Group because they were the source for me to have the clear message for the minister's message that's at DMX's homegoing. Thank you, Attorney Nana Jumpy, my source for the International Commission on this racist police violence. Thank you so much, Final Call Radio, obviously, Nation of Islam, NOI.org for the criterion. Thank you, our great owner, engineer, sister here, Sister Felicia, the Poetess Morris, and also you for listening. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad, saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.
Freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people untold. Now we are the poor.